So this video is going to give you a quick introduction to our next unit, which is on solving systems of equations. Today we're going to look at graphing. It's going to be nothing new, just graphing lines and graphing inequalities. But now we're going to do two in the same problem to solve a system by graphing. So for this first example, we're just graphing two equations by hand, and we're going to try to find their point of intersection. When we solve systems of equations, that's what we're looking for, where these two lines are going to meet. So what we notice on this first line, this is in standard form. If I multiply this whole thing by 2, I can get rid of that fraction. So I'm going to multiply the x by 2, the 1/2 y by 2, and the 5 by 2. So really what I'm looking at is 2x plus y equals 10. Now in standard form, we know the easiest way to find the y-intercept is to set 0 equal to x. When I do that, I'm going to get y equals 10, which is off our grid a little bit, but we'll put that up here. We'll say this is the point 0, 10. To find the x-intercept, if I cover up y for 0, I'm going to get the point 5, 0 as my x-intercept. And once I have 2 points, it's going to be a tough line on this, we can connect that, and there's our first line. The second equation is standard form. We don't have any fractions you need to wipe out, so we're going to take the same strategy with the intercepts. So if I set x equal to 0 to find the y-intercept, I get 3y equals 6. So my y-intercept will be at 0, 2. If I set y equal to 0 to find the x-intercept, we'll get negative 2x equals 6. So my x-intercept will be at negative 3. When I continue that and cross these lines, again, lines aren't perfect on here, but we can see this is pretty close, that the point of intersection is right here. So our answer here would be the point 3, 4. So what you're doing in these problems is just solving equations if you need to, graphing them both by hand, and then finding their point of intersection. For inequalities, we're doing something pretty similar. We're going to graph the two inequalities, but instead of looking for a shared point or a point of intersection, there's going to be a region of intersection. So let's do these both in two colors and see what this looks like. These are both in slope-intercept form, which should be pretty easy to graph. So if I have y is less than or equal to negative 2/3 x plus 1, I can start at plus 1, and then I'm going to go up 2 and left 3. If I put a couple of those points in, it's less than or equal to, so this is going to be a solid line. That'll take us right about there. Now, when I go to shade that, if I plug in 0 for x and 0 for y, I end up getting the statement 0 is less than or equal to 1. That is true, which means I want to shade towards 0, 0. So I'm going to shade this bottom half down here. So that's what we've done up until this point. That shouldn't be a problem for you. Now we're just going to do another problem on top of this one and see what happens. We're going to find the overlap. So for y is greater than 3x minus 5, my y-intercept is negative 5, so I'll throw that down there. Then if I go up 3 over 1 and continue to do that, this is just greater than, so this is going to be a dotted line. Now when I plug in 0, 0 here, we get the statement 0 is greater than negative 5. This one is also true, so we're going to shade this way. So 0, 0 is part of our blue solution. And then what we'll see, and I'll do this in black, our intersection here is this region. So it's anything that was hit by the blue and the red in this case. So again, solving systems of equations, you're just looking for a point because it's a point of intersection. Since we're doing inequalities and our answers are really a region or part of a plane, your answer for this case is going to be this entire region where these two things overlap. So you have a worksheet today that has some of each of these, graphing equations, graphing inequalities, and then lastly you have a couple on the back that will, or the last page, that will ask you to go backwards.